So through each one of these sections here, we go to solo here. Now, if I just decimate this down, it's going to keep these objects separate, and it's going to waste a lot of space on the inside of it. In this case, it's probably not a huge deal, but if you want to, I'm going to turn off project, turn off blur, and just Dynamesh these things together, and that'll give me, I'm going to turn off all my polypaint here so we don't need it. You're going to see it'll go ahead and create an envelope here. In fact, I can keep just dropping that resolution and Dynameshing, and it'll keep just dropping that down. There we go. So we have a nice envelope for all of those pieces here, and then I can go over here to Z plugin, decimation master. Let me put a white color. There we go. Preprocess current. So we're going to go from 21,000 down to like, let's see, 0.25 maybe. Hit decimate. Ooh, that's a little bit low. Let's do like 0.35. 0.5. That'll probably work. Let's just do an even 1,000. I don't really care too much about poly count here. So shoulders here. This one I don't have to Dynamesh just because I'm not trying to combine anything here. So this one I can just do a straight up preprocess. And then we can decimate this thing down to like maybe 2K. That'll work. And then wheel. We can just preprocess this one. And we'll go down to like 1K. We'll see how that looks. Perfect. Axle. Now this one has a lot of ins, a lot of outs. So let's go ahead and Dynamesh this together, get an envelope going. Even lower. Perfect. Okay, preprocess that. And we'll put this down at like 2K. That's a little high. Try 1.5. That'll work. Knees. Let's go ahead and Dynamesh all this stuff together. A little lower. Got a nice envelope. Preprocess. And we'll drop this down to like 0.75 maybe. Beautiful. Next. That'll work. Sweet. Shoulders here. Let's Dynamesh these together. Nice. Even built in my bevels. Handles. Now this one, I suppose we could Dynamesh those together. Although if I want them to kind of play around that, screw it. Okay, so Dynamesh, and then we'll preprocess that. And we'll drop that down to like maybe 1K. It's got a lot of turns and curves in it. And it's also got empty space in there, which you could go and cap that off for the game res. I'm not going to bother, but that might be worthwhile. Let's just do it while we're thinking about it. So say I want to do, for a game res, I don't need a bunch of interior faces in here, so let's just go to Alt-E, and we'll just insert a cylinder. There we go. Just cap that off. And you can always paint black in there if you want to. Oops. Go back to 1.2. Oh yeah, much better. Cool. Body, we can definitely Dynamesh together. And in fact, I made some mistakes in here, so there's some nastiness in here. I'm just gonna, because you're not gonna really see in here, let's just inflate all that nonsense together. You can just drop in, whoa, maybe not that much. You can also just drop in a, use this like a little bit of clay. Just go in here and put a sphere in there. Use your move brush and just kind of fill in these little cracks in here. This is what we're going to call good enough production. My favorite kind. Now, am I going to use this to render, 32K IMAX microscopic detail stuff? No. But to get my point across and to show it and get approvals, you better believe I will. Good enough. Pre-process. Let's go to 2K maybe. Yeah, that'll work. Pre-process, and we'll do 1K for this one probably. Good enough. This one should go pretty low. Let's try 0.1. Beautiful. Let's go to 0.2 on these bad boys. Little low. 0.5. That'll work. Cool. Ooh, these are heavy. Give this a second here. Let's go to 2K. Perfect. These are really heavy too. Let me see if I can, okay, let's do a quick save. And then I'm gonna, before I pre-process, I'm gonna reconstruct. There we go. We can delete higher. Now I can pre-process a lot less polygons. In fact, we can just reconstruct again, delete higher, even less. We can reconstruct all the way down to our original mesh, which is probably pretty clean for a game res. Let's do that one. Keep it. Pre-process, current. I like decimating too, especially if I got a super high-res model and I want to just kind of keep my file sizes down for organic stuff. Oh, so much better. Let's see, 1K maybe. Good enough. Okay, these ones I do want to dynamesh together. Project Traveler. Dynamesh those, pre-process them. I'll drop them down to like 0.75 maybe. Beautiful. And you also got to consider, if you are seeing these from the first person view, you want to give a little more resolution to, if you, I mean, you would probably, ideally you would have separate models for the first person hands, and then for third person you would have a different model, just because everything that's like taking up 50% of your screen, weapons and hands, can be, need to be very, very particular. Here's our heels. Beautiful. Okay, so heels all the way to elbows. We're going to go ahead and export this as our Ernie Low. And while that's going, let's load up Maya. Yeah, and yeah, unwrapping and UVing. You know, and if I was to do this for real, like some of the stuff was built, like you saw the knuckles were built so that, you know, I could just lower it down and put in some control loops and export that and UV it correctly and beautifully. And you also want to do stuff like, you know, if you're going to have a, if you're going to export a hardened edge, like a vertex normal, and from Maya, you might as well cut a seam along there because you're already getting 2 times the amount of vertices in that position, or UV's coordinates in that position anyways, so you might as well split that off and give you breathing room so you can bake good normals and all that stuff. So a lot of stuff goes into doing it right. It's really boring, and retopologizing some stuff, it's just not really fun to do, especially not in front of a live audience here. So I'm going to import that. Now you could just export that. You could use UV master and stuff and do that, but I'm just going to do it in here. So we're going to do, let me grab this and paste it here. There we go. Ernie Low. Okay, so the first thing is this thing has different materials assigned to this thing. So I'm just going to right click or select all these things, do assign new material, and we'll just assign a Lambert to it. One Lambert, and we'll call this. Now, if you did want to do different material IDs and like do arms in one material group, material set, they're called in or UDIM, or however you want to break up your stuff, feel free. I'm just going to call this Ernie. And then you're probably going to want to go into Windows, Rendering Editors, Hypershade, and do a quick edit, delete unused nodes, kind of clear out your scene here. Okay, so we've got Ernie in here. Just to play it safe, I'm going to hit 1. It's by default FBXs for some reason when you bring them in. I think it has something to do with the smooth normals. It wants to import as a preview sub-D mesh. Do that, and you're going to see there's some bruising on here. So I'm going to do a quick unlock normals, set the face, soften edges here. So now all my edges are soft. Everything should be, ooh, what's that? Shoulders high, copy 1. Let me go back into ZBrush. That's not right. Shoulders high is correct. Because if they're not named correctly, oh, what is that? Oh, you know what? This is named shoulders high, and that was named shoulders high. Crap. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have to reopen that damn big level. Shoot. I'll try importing that FBX into ZBrush and renaming that. Because, yeah, I named one shoulders high and I named another shoulders high, and that's not going to work. Damn it. I should have named that arms high. Let me think. Let's just name this arms high. And we'll move on from there. Okay, so we got this thing ready to go. So everything's softened. If I can try going into Windows, UV editor. Oh, I don't even have the latest Maya downloaded. Do I at work? I do. Here I haven't bothered upgrading yet. Okay, so let's just go into UVs. We'll do automatic. And I'm going to go to freeze transformations. And on this stuff here, let's go ahead and do layout. And we want to make sure we have pre-scaling preserve. And oh, is it airing out on me? Non-manifold UVs, of course. All right, let's do it this way then. I can try and fix that. We can go into mesh cleanup. Let's clean up. Do we have non-manifold geometry? Face of zero, face of zero map area, edge of zero length. Let's give that a cleanup. Give that a second. Let's see. Yeah, the new. I haven't updated my Maya UV yet. I do have it at work, and here I don't. But it's pretty good. I like to step through it. All the options are getting better. And retopology tools and stuff in Maya work pretty well too. I need to go over that, doing some of that stuff, because there's a lot of cool stuff in there. I do a little bit of it in my reptile video on my Gumroad. And Hedis, all that good stuff that I use. So let's see. Okay, there's all my pieces. 2048. I should have played with the padding a little bit more, but you know what? It seemed to only really be having a problem around the borders there. So I'm just going to manually do that. So when you go through there, check your padding options and make sure you have a little bit of space, breathing room around there. I think that'll work though. Good enough. So we've got this ready to go. We've got this ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and do a file, export selection, and we're going to do Ernie low. Now we got to remember shoulder high with the ball, and the socket needs to be called